Hi, I'm Shauna, this is Shauna's World. Welcome or welcome back to my channel where I make videos about living intentionally. If that sounds like something you might be interested in, please give the video a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. And you can also find me on Instagram at Shauna's World. I am just getting ready to go on a retreat this weekend with the one and only Jasmin Paris, one of the greatest ultra runners of all time, probably my top two favourite runners of all time, along with Courtney Dauwalter, and it's a retreat on Dartmoor hosted by Adharanand Finn, who is a running author, and I am just about to catch the train to Shipley Bridge to spend a weekend with them all in the moors. It was a super easy journey for me to get from Totnes to Dartmoor, which was a delightful treat given that I would have travelled anywhere in the country for the opportunity to run with Jasmin Paris.
You're all here for the running weekend.
Okay, just arrived at the accommodation, which is really lovely. There's a big open communal space, and then I'm in a twin room. I haven't got my roommate yet. I met Jasmine on the train and was a little bit weird, but not too weird. And I met someone else on the train who was coming to, and then we all got lift shares to the accommodation, and then I think we're going out for a run pretty soon.
So I'm Adharanand, for anyone who doesn't know. I'm kind of hosting the weekend. Jasmine is helping host. If anyone doesn't know who Jasmine is, this is Jasmin Paris. Anyone not know Jasmin Paris? Needs an introduction. Everyone knows who you are. This is Colin. Colin is a qualified guide, a very expert man. He's written a guidebook about running on Dartmoor. So there's everything about Dartmoor, running on Dartmoor. Sean is helping me host and also on the runs. Very competent runner, knows Dartmoor very well, local runner.
We're going right up to the top of Upper Beacon. The pace is obviously going to be the pace of the slowest person.
So it's the first evening, we're out for an easy run. I've joined the faster group, which I think might have been a mistake, but we'll see how it goes. So I think I joined the wrong group pace-wise. They sold it as kind of both easy runs, but the other one's kind of more walking. And I thought I could manage the faster group, and I'm struggling on the uphills, going downhill now, so not doing so bad. But I will keep that in mind for the rest of the weekend. Don't go with the more challenging option.
Joss Naylor was always saying to me, don't hold back, let go, you know. That's so scary.
That's so Joss Naylor.
It's a lot more work if you keep acting against gravity. You can just look where you're going, so you know where you're going to be putting your feet, and just let go.
This has been a glorious run, pretty tough, but once we got over that initial uphill, it's been plain sailing. I'm back after a wonderful evening run. The sun was setting, it was absolutely beautiful. I did really struggle at the beginning with the hill, but then after that, when we started going downhill, having the time of my life. Now I'm just gonna have a shower and then we have a dinner. There is a chef cooking all our meals for the weekend, which is very nice after you've been out for a run. Thank you. Oh, that looks amazing. I think that might be edible.
So I was going to read the prologue of my book because that's a polished piece of writing. You know, it's been through editors, and you know, it's the opening of a book, so it's really, hopefully, strong. Or this newsletter I wrote the other day in about an hour. Okay, I'll read this, and then that's it. It's called Visions of a Fast Parkrun. A few weeks ago, on one of my occasional trips to the Torbay Running Club, Tuesday night interval sessions, I got talking to a guy I had never chatted to before. Richard was in his early 60s, and he was usually a bit behind me in the training sessions. I asked him about his running, and he said he mainly did park runs.
That was a lovely little bedtime story, and it's only 9:30 now. but I'm going to go to bed because we have quite an early start in the morning, breakfast and a run. Feeling like I'm still kind of landing, but looking forward to more running tomorrow. So just had breakfast. It was really nice, scrambled eggs, lots of cereals and yogurt and fruit. I sat next to Jasmine, which was very nice. I didn't film because I didn't want her to think I was creepy. But I had some really, really good chats, talked about races, talked about her life as a vet, talked about her use of sauna in her training, which I'm quite inspired by because I know I need to do that. And yeah, had some good chats with the other people on the retreat as well. So far so good, and I'm just getting ready to run a 5 to 6 mile run we're heading out to do on Dartmoor. It's the star of the show, Jasmin Paris. How are you enjoying the retreat so far?
Yeah, it's been nice.
Yeah.
Nice talking to everyone.
So last night we started the run going straight up Ugborough Beacon, which is pretty steep, but we're going round it today, which I'm pretty glad of. It's a gorgeous day out. I think I'm a bit overdressed for it. This is the bit where I have to not fall in the water. Success!
Right, so if you're taking a shorter one, you're following it down.
So we've split off into 2 groups now. There was one group going a shorter distance but steeper, and one group going longer but less steep. I don't want to knacker myself out for the long run tomorrow, so I went the shorter, which is also the steeper. So I'm just saying good hill training. It's absolutely gorgeous here, these views. This hill is a lot. I don't know if I picked the right group, but it's fun.
And it's the ones that can't do that for a longer period of time are generally the ones that are not quite.
So they would have excavated little jewels and stuff that they would have buried with them, and they're all over the moor. It's a bit like, I've just said, so it's a bit like Rome. When you go to Rome, there's just Roman stuff everywhere. Dartmoor's very much, we just passed the standing stone. They're everywhere, all over the place. Not all of them are marked on the map.
So yeah, so they're there all weekend, and like I think the fire and the chicken and stuff goes on all weekend. Like, I don't know, I've never been there really, because I've always either been on the course or like stone dead asleep when I'm back again.
For you to decide how you want to get changed, showered. The afternoon run is of course optional if people have had enough. There is talk of and Joe, maybe you might going back to that wild swimming spot, running back there and having a dip.
That was a really quite wonderful run this morning, and I found it hard but doable. I'm just having some downtime. Everyone's out socialising now, and I think I need quite a lot of downtime when there's a lot of socialising on. I'm finding it quite overstimulating, but it's lovely, but I need quite a bit of time to myself. Lunch is going to be soon, and so far the food has been really good, so I'm looking forward to whatever happens to be on offer.
Lunch was a wonderful soup with hearty crusty bread, some cheeses and salad,
all of the food on these retreats is vegetarian, so we ate really well and it was all really varied and nutritious. And after we'd been fed, we moved into our afternoon session with movement expert Joe Kelly.
So obviously I'm Joe. I've been doing movement stuff for quite some time. Okay, I've stolen from, I don't think I've ever read like The Inner Game of Golf or whatever, those books, but I kind of nabbed that idea because I quite liked it. But I had the inner and the outer game, okay, and so for me, and that's what we're going to kind of address today, so for me the inner game is really how do I work with my body. So if I'm in the gym, if I'm trying to work on my running form, all of that is me relating to my body. So how does my body feel? How do my joints feel? How does it feel to do what I'm doing? And then the outer game is how do I run down a hill and not fall over?
So honestly, it's only the second day and we've done 2 runs and I'm feeling pretty shattered. I really feel like I need a nap, but I don't have enough time of a window to nap before the mobility and functional movement session, which I am really looking forward to doing. My training volume's been pretty low. I had a lot of time off training, and then I haven't shared this on here yet actually. I've got a probable exercise-induced asthma diagnosis. So I've got an inhaler now, which is great, but it means I'm really behind on my training. My fitness isn't great, though it's getting better, but my training volume has been quite low. So it just means that running 4 days in a row, including a long run, a double run day, it feels too much and I have to kind of pace myself with what I feel able to do. The clocks also go forward this evening, which means we're going to lose an hour of sleep. And I just want to be conscious of taking care of myself. Such a win. I managed to grab some fresh homemade banana bread to fuel for Joe's functional movement session.
I think probably the 2 big things with anatomy motion are looking for what's not moving. And together with that is breathing, and we'll touch on nasal breathing. Focus on your feet on the floor. So what we're looking for here is a tripod. So big toe, little toe, like the pad behind there, the heel. What we're going to do though is turn around and look behind.
Now we're heading up to a hill to put what we've just learned into action.
There you go. So we're going to do a little bit of uphill and a little bit of downhill stuff, okay? Just short ones, and I'll just throw in a new thing each time, okay? So first one we're going to do uphills. This is like where you can start building that rhythm. So don't go up hills leaning into the hill, okay? Everyone does. Definitely don't be like pushing yourself off, that's cheating. So instead of leaning into the hill, what we're going to do is be nice and tall, lead from the tummy, okay? And on the way up, think about being in first gear. So what I want you to feel like you can accelerate at any point, just like you would with a car on a steep hill. You'll probably all start off in like second or third. So if you don't feel like you can accelerate, just speed the rhythm up, smaller steps, okay? Does that make sense?
I really enjoyed that session, actually more than I thought I would, and I got a lot out of it. I was so tired after the run this morning and last night that I was like, oh, I don't know if I can be bothered. But it was really good. Got a lot of intel on running uphill, running downhill, mobility stuff, breathing. So yeah, feeling really good about the takeaways from that. Dinner was another wonderful affair with good, fresh food and good chats with like-minded runners. Totally knackered. It's 9:33 and I am going to bed. There was rumblings of a night run. I don't know if that's happening, but I don't have it in me if it is. Clocks go forward tonight, so we're losing sleep. 10-mile run in the morning. I'm quite nervous about it because I've struggled with the pace. Like they've been inclusive and like there's time to catch up and stuff, but I put pressure. Well, I've just felt pressure to run faster than I probably would if I'm on my own, which I think can be a good thing in a way because it means I'm challenging myself a bit more, but I'm just absolutely pooped. So early night, and hopefully I'm feeling sprightly in the morning for the 10-mile run. Good morning. I've had a good night's sleep. The clocks went forward, so it wasn't as long as I'd have liked, but my hamstring's aching and my ankles are aching. Oh, we're having a talk.
Okay guys, so there's going to be a choice of 3 distances today, about 2.5 miles or so, 2 miles, and then I'll say to Joe, anybody who wants to do about 5 miles. Joe's then intending to hang a right and pop over to that little ford where there is a little bathing spot. So looking about 10 miles, so we'll head out towards Piles Copse, and then the rest of us are going on and doing any about 15, 16 20, 16 miles. We're going to pop down to Shipley Bridge and a little village called South Brent and show you a different softer side of Dartmoor where there's paths and trails a little bit more usage.
And then we're up into the hills. My hamstring feels okay now that I'm moving, but my ankles feel really weak and fragile, which isn't great. Just have to see how I go. Oh, I'm really not feeling at my best. In my heart, I'm having the time of my life, but my foot is really hurting. And I don't know how much just to power through and how much to take a shorter option if that becomes available. I think, so I was going to do 10 miles, but I think there's going to be a shorter option that will include a swim, which would be quite nice. But I think I will be disappointed if I don't do the 10 miles, but I don't know if I have it in me.
Piles Hill, it's a cairn, there's another one, there's another standing stone just over there. This is the first point where we've done 2.5 miles. So this is the first point if you think, you know what, Dartmoor's lovely and I've enjoyed it and it's great. I'm quite happy to have a Bimble back.
Well, I'm going to aim for those trees there and then the river's down there.
Okay.
I'm happy with longer, but
yeah.
It won't be that much longer, will it? Really,
Yeah.
it's just as the crow flies.
so I did opt for the shorter version in the end. As all the 10 milers were running off, I started getting FOMO and was like, have I made the right decision? But I do have foot pain and I am pretty tired, so I think it was right. I hope I don't feel disappointed later about it. Just absolutely gorgeous out on Dartmoor today, and we're heading for a dip.
But yeah, I reckon we'll go down there and just get in from those rocks down there.
You're saying
Yeah, I think Joe walks on that path.
it's less slippery.
Oh, that was such a gorgeous little dip. And I was actually not sure if I was going to go in because I didn't really want to run back in wet clothes. But actually, it's fine. Oh, I just went over on my ankle. It's not that bad, but it's like just that sudden jarring shock. It's fine now, but yeah, in that moment, ouch. Joe. Just got back. I really enjoyed that run. It was about 9k in the end. I think I'm partly disappointed I didn't do the full 10 miles, but I do genuinely think I made the right decision. And by the end, I kept going over on the ankle that was hurting. I don't know if it's just tired or weak at the moment, so I need to do some strengthening for my feet and ankles, I think. I'm feeling absolutely buzzing after the swim. I'm so glad I did that. And I did it all in my running gear, so I'm soaking wet and gonna jump in the shower now.
Lunch was Kenyan themed. We had ugali, a Kenyan grain, a version of sukuma wiki, which is made with collard greens, onions and spices, and nudengu, which is a mung bean curry. Then we moved into a very exciting talk and Q&A with Jasmine.
The title of the talk is There's a Pleasure in the Pathless Woods, and I like this quote. It's by Lord Byron, just because I think it kind of sums up the pleasure of wild places, but also the kind of the joy of maybe making a trail through kind of charted territory. The Dragon's Back was like a bit of a breakthrough moment in the sense that it's a 5-day stage race, I guess, across the mountainous spine of Wales, and I ended up finishing second. Jim Mann won it, but maybe I guess it was the fact that sort of as a woman I finished second. And in the following year I did the 3 UK fell running rounds, so the Bob Graham round, the Paddy Buckley and the Ramsey round. And for those of you that don't know, this is the kind of challenges where you have 24 hours to complete them. The race is founded on this kind of, this event that happened in 1977, where the assassin of Martin Luther King Jr. escaped from the nearby prison, and he was called James Earl Ray. And I think in sort of 54 hours or something, he managed to get about 12 miles, if that. And apparently Laz, the subsequent organiser of the Barkley Marathons, heard about this and said, I bet you I could run 100 miles in that time. And that was kind of the premise on which the race was founded. There's also these kind of low trees which are called mountain laurels, and which are almost impossible to move through. I found the best way to get through them from experience was to lie on your belly and do this kind of commando crawl below the level of the branches. Nobody takes an alarm with them, and just somehow there's no rule that's written down, but you just know that wouldn't be the right thing to do. So John Kelly has these tips of things that John Kelly's done in the past. He slept with his head in a puddle because he knows that he'll wake up after a short period of time, or he slept with his head on a book knowing there's somebody right behind him, not far down the trail. So they have to wake him up when they get there. So that sort of thing. So I think that's why it wouldn't be the right thing to take an alarm with you. So a lot of people have been saying there was no way she could, I think they've given up. John Kelly's kid was down there and then he saw me and I think he shouted runner, and then they saw me turn around the corner. So
So emotional.
There was no I didn't know how to do stuff.
Oh, that talk with Jasmin Paris was absolutely incredible. She's so inspiring, and that's the most insightful thing into Barclays I've ever heard. There's so much mystery around the event, and yeah, really good to hear her speaking about it. We're moving into a session with Adharanand about his holiday snaps from Kenya.
So when my books came out, there were no pictures in them. So I decided on these talks, a lot of people have read the books but would like some visuals. People would say, why were there no pictures in the book? So this is the chance to show some pictures I've just got pictures from Kenya and Japan, and also this talk can only be so long. So I'm sticking to Kenya and Japan.
So after a very active weekend, Sunday night, we're going to the pub to eat a good hearty meal. I've really enjoyed Jasmine's talk this afternoon. It was so inspiring. And then we saw Adharanand's Kenya snaps, which was pretty cool. And I'm very excited for a hearty pub meal.
Thank you very much indeed. So just step across.
Thank you so much.
You're most welcome. Thank you. I'd hope so.
That was a lovely meal to end the day with at the pub. I'm exhausted now, going to get another early night and aim to go for an early morning run tomorrow before breakfast, but who knows how I'll feel when I wake up.
Well, I did indeed make it to the final run of the retreat at 6 a.m. I was not going to let tiredness stop me. It was absolutely gorgeous out with only a faint glow of the rising sun.
It's the last run of the retreat. I'm really feeling it in my body. It's so nice to be out in the early morning. We'll see the sun come up. Oh God, I'm lagging behind. It's all right. Well, I'm not used to running before breakfast and running before I've eaten anything, and I was sick going up the hill and it was horrible. I haven't eaten anything. So I only imagine it's just because my body's not used to it, and then I was kind of pushing hard. That was not fun, but now I'm at the top of the hill. So worth it. Well, I'm heading back to the cottages now after being sick, so cut the run quite short. I feel a lot better now, but a bit wobbly stomach. So yeah, everyone else is still out. Adharanand ran me back to base camp, which is really nice. And oh, I had a good time out there. The sunrise was looking beautiful. It hadn't quite come above the horizon yet, but the sky was just looking magical. And now I can look forward to some coffee and breakfast.
Then came the time to say goodbye to the new friends we'd made over the weekend, take what we'd learned and put it into practice with our running, and get some good rest and recovery.
Well, I'm home from the retreat, and what a weekend it's been. I'm absolutely exhausted right now, shattered, but in a really good way, you know, when your body aches and it feels really satisfying. A few reflections on the weekend. Firstly, Jasmine is such a lovely soul. Had some good chats with her, and yeah, just a really kind, humble, hardworking, great runner and human. And it's always, you know, when you meet someone who you've kind of idolised, you know, it can be you can create something in your head of someone. And she was just wonderful to run alongside. And she was so down to earth that I was just kind of connecting to her and chatting with her. And then it took kind of until a day into the retreat that I was like, wow, this is like the person I've really just admired and felt so much emotion around. Her achievement and just the things she's done are so incredible. And I'm here with her. Besides Jasmine, I found the weekend really good anyway. I think my biggest fear going into it would be feeling bad because I'm slow, and it's actually one of the most pace inclusive group runs I've been on. There were a lot of really fast people, but they would always wait for you to catch up, and they didn't do that thing where you're slow, you just catch up to the group who've all been waiting because they're faster, and then they head off straight away, so they've all had a massive rest and you don't get a rest. They were really good about kind of making sure everyone enjoyed it. I still felt some insecurity around my pace, but that was a me thing, not a them thing. It felt really good, and it was fine to opt out of certain activities, like I missed one of the runs and there were adaptations. I would do away with the runner retreat again, and Adharanand organised it really well. You can tell he's been doing them for ages. He's done a lot of these retreats, and it's just very laid back but very smooth running and very efficient. It was great to hear his presentation of his photos as well, and I just really enjoyed the space. So I would check out the Way of the Runner if you're that way inclined and kind of want to do a running retreat. I think they were all on Dartmoor, and it's such a nice spot for it. We got so lucky with the weather. Even when it's a bit atmospheric, Dartmoor is great and very close to me, which is a plus. I'm going to leave it there and go have a soak in the bath and maybe a nap and just chill out for the rest of the day. If you enjoyed the video, please give it a thumbs up. For more videos, subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.